these so-called professionals from Washington, D.C. that had a lot of experience with community foundations said, can't be done. You don't have the wealth in this community to support a community foundation. And they came back and said their hearts were in the right place, but there weren't enough hearts. And we certainly proved them wrong. We started our Applebee's Flapjack fundraiser a few years back. And what we were trying to get at there was to explain to the community at large who we are. And so the funds we raise through that go to our service learning mini grants. So to raise a little more money, we started a basket auction. People love basket auctions, and we get donations from local businesses. The staff puts together a lot. We gather things throughout the year. And these are small grants we offer to teachers who combine their classroom learning with community service. We've had some wonderful, very interesting projects come from there. We've supported the hospital for the past 30 years in one way or another through various grants. Funds were given to support the maternity ward so that women could have their own private rooms when they give birth. That was a big deal. The women around here, the families around here deserve that. It's a special time in your life. Well, 2016 is our 30th anniversary. To kick it off, what a better way than to have a mixer at a winery. We had over 140 people. It was a great time. And of course, the best part was at the end when we lit off 30 Chinese lanterns that floated into the sky to commemorate our 30th anniversary. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. As a part of our 30th, we wanted to reach some groups of people that we typically haven't, and that's families with young children. Families were encouraged to bring a gift to benefit the animal organizations, the Humane Society, North Shore. We had balloons, so many balloons, and a lot of them floated up into the rafters. I would like to think that in many ways, we are the foundation of our community. We have representatives from throughout the community. We serve the community. That's why we're here. We recognize what a wonderful community we live in, and we want to make it even better. What makes you feel better than to help somebody, to help animals, to help seniors, to help the youth? That makes you feel good. And obviously, the benefit is on the other side as well.
This is Lakeshore Humane Society Adoption Center. Before this, we used to foster animals in people's homes. I joined the group in 1980, and we had a very small number of cats, a small number of dogs that were being fostered in people's homes. I fostered larger numbers in my barn for many years until we built this building. It's been a long process getting where we are, and I think it's one of the most incredible things in this community, and the community should be very proud of what they do, because there is nobody who volunteers at this building that is paid. Everybody in the group is a volunteer 100% of the time. The drywall from this building all came from a grant through the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation. We were at that point where we didn't know if we had enough funds to finish the building, and the foundation came through for us to make it possible. We also have several endowed funds with them, the Lakeshore Humane Society Verona Barker Memorial Fund and the Raja and Sandy Kapalan Fund. There is no greater value than volunteerism. There's lots of really good causes out there. All these organizations need financial help, and they need physical help. If you can afford it financially, it's greatly appreciated I'm sure from every organization, like it would be for Lakeshore Humane Society. But certainly everybody can afford a little time to give back to their community. I think this whole existence of Lakeshore Humane Society is a perfect example of what a community can do when they work together, because this is 70 or so people working together to make a difference to quite a few animals at the end of a year.
About 4 or 5 times a year when I go to the bank with a deposit, they hand me a coffee can full of change. And I take it home, and this guy just saves his change and puts it in there, and okay, what's a coffee can full of change? That's probably $500 a year. You know, that adds up.
It all adds up.
It just does, and we couldn't live without any of these people, and it just helps us.
And volunteers get a lot back. There's no better feeling than to know that you gave back, that you did something for your community to make it a better place. And that happens a lot in Northern Chautauqua County, thanks to the work of the Community Foundation.
I wrote grants to enrich the library, and the Community Foundation has tremendously helped our library and other people in the community. I got grants for benches so people could sit down. I got grants for outlining the building of the library, because it's an old Carnegie building, so that from Thanksgiving through Christmas to New Year's, the building was outlined. All the things that I dreamed, I made my wish list of things that I wanted, and over the years I kept checking them off. But grants helped me to do that, and the Community Foundation was a wonderful source, and not giving just to me, but to many other groups in the community. And without giving to those other groups in the community, they would never have been able to do, whether it was performances or some other thing, to enrich the community. I think it's very important. Diane Hannum, the director, and Eileen Dunn, who does all of the grants and arranges for all the committees to receive all the materials to do it, are so helpful to anyone working on grants. They will even sit down and walk you through it. They've had different workshops to help people to make it as easy as possible, so that it's not threatening. It is easy. Usually their grants are just 2 to 3 pages. It's not hard. It's just being willing to do that grant. And I have helped people work on that grant or give them examples of how to do it out in the community when I'm asked.
My name's Frank Bursick. I'm the Executive Director of Chautauqua Adult Daycare Centers Incorporated. We're a day program for older adults. Our goal is to help people remain at home, give caregivers a break from caregiving. At the same time, they're able to maintain employment. We've been very fortunate to have the support of the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation. It goes way back. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for some of their support. We had started an initiative. We opened up our first adult daycare program down in Jamestown, and our board of directors wanted to expand to provide the services to Northern Chautauqua County. We were able to get funding from the United Way, the Office for Aging, and Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation for startup funds to get our program going here. We worked together with the St. John United Church of Christ. They took us on as a partner, and we rented space from them, and we were able to get our program started, and it's been growing and been here since 1989. It's great to have an organization such as Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation that believes in your program and what you do, and really them supporting us. That community in Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation does help the community, because what we're doing is helping people remain in that community. And all the things they have helped us with, there are numerous items. I mean, they've helped us start an art therapy program. We had an art show. The 2 projects where they helped us get things going really made a difference in a lot of lives. And to have that support when you've got an idea or something you want to do and someone believes in you, that's important. And the success of that program, and then that branching out, countywide, it's everybody working together as one large community.
I could say that we started this ball rolling around 2010, and over a cup of coffee in a local restaurant. Jay came in with the idea that the foundation was already here doing wonderful things. So Jay approached Diane at the foundation, and they decided in their wisdom to take us on and set us up as a subcommittee of the foundation.
The overall mission of the Community Foundation is to enrich the lives of the people that live and work here. So the LED, Local Economic Development Initiative, began with the help of Tom England and some of it in his background and training to bring us to the table to formulate a committee or a subcommittee of the Community Foundation and work through establishing committee rules and regulations and policies so that we could be an official component of the foundation and let folks know that Everything they do is important, but we felt that our goal and our niche was to provide direction and leadership for local economic development, LED. And if I could sit in my rocking chair at 90 and I could look down and say, there are people collaborating, meeting each other, talking with each other about ways they can work together to solve the area's major issues, I would be thrilled.
The Soil and Water District, we deal with all the natural resources in the county. So we do a lot of agricultural land drainage, we work a lot with streams, with the lakes. Environmental education is another big part of our goals. And I'm proud to say that Chautauqua County runs the largest single county envirothon in New York State. We have a lot of schools up north, Westfield, Ripley, Fredonia, Silver Creek, Brockton, Forestville. We would not be able to do a lot of different things that we do with the schools if it wasn't for the grant foundations that we deal with. And the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation is one of them. So we decided to go to them and ask them if they would like to participate in our event. We knew that they were excited about the environment. They wanted to do something. They knew the environment was something that needed attention. If the Soil and Water had to fund this project on their own, it probably would not make it to the rate that it's made it today. I'm sure a lot of other projects around Northern Chautauqua County could not function without their assistance. We needed that little boost to help us over the top to make it not just a good program, but a successful program.
The Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation contacted me. It was Dave Duino. He called. He was a personal friend of my husband and his family, and so I went ahead and I joined the Community Foundation. It was an amazing experience. Each one of the members on the board have to be on a committee, and they chose the grants committee for me, which was a perfect fit. Just absolutely loved it. I had an opportunity to meet lots of service organizations. I met so many wonderful people and that could benefit from the grants, grant applications. I will really remember all the people that are in the Community Foundation, from Dave Duino to Diane Hannum to Nancy, everyone who works there. And it has been a wonderful, wonderful experience. It has been an eye-opener for me because it really showed me all the needs in the community that can be met by these different grants. Our Falcone Family Fund is undesignated, unspecified, so the proceeds from that every year can go to different grants. And that has been a real inspiration for me. We've continued that. We add to the family fund every year, and we're hoping that our children and our grandchildren will eventually add to the grant when we're gone, because it just benefits so many people in our local area.
I've always been very impressed with the work that they do, the way that they touch people's lives in the community, and make a real difference.
The work, the economic work that the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation has done and continues to do and is involved with is very exciting to me. The LED conference that brought Phoenix and our county executive and other village and town and county leaders all to the same room to talk about the future of the county was very exciting. So to feel as if we can spearhead change like that and an opportunity for people to get and equip themselves for high-paying jobs and not have to leave the county to be able to get those jobs is very exciting to me. A few years ago, my sisters and I established a fund for Leetown and Muriel Stang Adams as a grant that would be given to junior high school and high school students at Forestville to acknowledge their work in citizenship and in leadership. And this grant is being used. Typically, the students will write wonderful thank you notes, and they'll tell us about buying books with it or other kinds of educational activities that they do with it. And it's exciting for us because it means that these young people have a connection, they feel a connection with the house and with mom and dad, and I hope feel excited about their futures and feel that sense of the community supporting them as they grow and as they work hard in school.
We started in 1997. We were a group of parents who were unhappy with the fields and conditions that our kids were playing in, primarily soccer players. And we formed a nonprofit corporation. In about 2 years, we opened the facility for the first games. Each year since then, we've grown a little bit, getting by on grants and volunteer time and donations, along with a number of fundraisers. Now we have 3 soccer fields, 2 basketball fields, 2 pickleball courts, a baseball diamond, and a sand volleyball court. Several thousand people a year come through the facility. We have at least 500 kids registered for various activities. In terms of an individual, we recently had a kid who played here for many years who was killed in Afghanistan. And he's actually the son of one of our board members at the time, Sergeant Kevin White. And we named this field behind us here in his honor. And it sticks in all our mind that there's more here than just a few games and a few kids. We try to teach kids sportsmanship and good citizenship, but that plays a role in itself, having a field dedicated to a fallen hero. Our mission is basically improving the quality of life in Northern Chautauqua County, and I think that fits very well with the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation.
After our daughter passed away with breast cancer, as a result of breast cancer, we decided we wanted to do something to increase the awareness in young people and try to have something available that would be helpful. And that is when we thought more about the NCCF fund and decided to take the plunge and try to raise money to establish the fund, which we did. We were able to start the fund and reached the $100,000 goal. We had 9 bike, walk, or run activities for 9 years, and we had a wonderful committee that worked with us, and we had great participation.
When I started, I was thinking, well, you got to be a millionaire to help anybody, but that's not true. So every year we get a report from Diane that shows where the money was spent.
We are feeling very fortunate that NCCF was established so that people could have take advantage of philanthropy, and I just am amazed at how it has grown and how so many people have taken advantage of setting up funds and helping so many people in our area.
So at the end of senior year, I was doing pretty well academically, and so I applied for a ton of scholarships, and the one that stood out to me the most was the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation scholarship, and I was just so thankful for it because I wasn't expecting to get as much as they gave me. And the NCCF scholarship is going to allow me to work with kids with special needs, work with kids in general classrooms, wherever I may end up in the school. I really just want to help kids learn and feel understood, and the funds that I've gotten from this foundation has helped me to gain the education that I need in order to do that. If Ruth Barker Winch was right in front of me, I'd probably first of all just thank her. I'm so grateful. And I think I would just talk to her about why she's giving so much and what things motivated her to give in this way. We all have something to give to each other, I think, and we all have times in our lives where we're in need of something. And I think that the world needs people who give and take from each other in a healthy way, and not expecting something in return, but just doing it because people matter and we're here to help each other. I guess I'm just so thankful. I'm really thankful, and I hope someday I can be able to give that way to someone else, because it's just meant so much to me. And yeah, so if I have that opportunity someday, I want to take it.
The community foundations, it's a well over $20 million endowment. If you look at the number of grants they've given and the organizations in which they've supported, and some of the organizations that frankly would not exist without them. The staff there is incredible. Dave Duino he was a god. He was so great. He was outstanding to work for. A pillar in the community. Everybody knew him. He was on the radio, he had that great voice that you could never forget. And he was a great guy to learn from. The one lesson I think I took from him that was very clear, and I still use it now, is that relationship management, that relationship building. And it's not an ask if it's comfortable. If you've taken the time to know that person, you've built that relationship, and you almost consider them a peer, it's not that difficult to make that ask. And that's why he was so good, because everybody knew him. He had that "give where you live" phrase. I can still hear him saying it. It echoes through my head all the time. He was just such a great guy. If you're looking at the horizon, I think it's bright for our area. I think things are starting to turn around. I think we have some great people working really diligently towards economic development and the revitalization of the city. The arrow's pointing up, in my opinion.
I'd love to quote this. When he told us in writing that he didn't think we could make it, one of the final sentences was, the founding group, there were 5 people, the founding group have their hearts in the right place. It is a place that doesn't have enough hearts. And so long.
Little did he know.
This fellow obviously had never gone on a fundraising visit with George Weaver as your lead guy. Or George and I would go in, and he would say, "Here's what I want you to give." "Well, I can't do it." "Oh, yes, you can." "In fact, you should."
And it got to the point, George led the campaign for the Barker Library and lots of other, the Brooks Hospital, a lot of other campaigns. When they'd see Manley or Weaver walking down the street, they'd turn around and go the other way.
You get 100 people together to give $100 a year for 5 years, and then figure out what to do with the money. So we brought that idea back, and we called it the Committee of 100, and we began identifying community leaders, people who we thought had a sense of community and charity, and started talking about what we would do with the money.
And all the rest of the projects identify those things in the community that need to be done to improve the quality of life. And it's just immense impact.
This effort has done for myself, my wife, and our children is understanding the benefit of charitable giving. That there's a requirement for those who have been given much, not just in terms of financial, but in life, in quality of life, that you should give back. And if you give back, it'll come back to you in a variety of different ways. But the intent of charitable giving, whether it's a foundation, any other organization, or a church of worship, is so important. And I think that's the impact that this has given me and my family, just because I've spent so much time, not just with the foundation, but with other endeavors throughout this community. And it's a wonderful way to spend time.
I guess the thing that gives me the most feeling of warmth is knowing that there's a committee on the foundation that looks at the needs for this money every year and doles the money out accordingly. And
You know, I guess the thing that I've most enjoyed over the years is watching the scholarship recipients. We've made it possible for a lot of kids to go on to college, and education's the basis of everything. And hopefully some of them will come back to Dunkirk and Fredonia.
I remember when he was first thinking about it, and he would always be talking about Jamestown and how many foundations they had, and wouldn't it be wonderful to have something like that in our area. I remember often when I was young having people tell me, "Oh, your father's such a gentleman. Oh, your mother is so kind." Those kind of things I would hear over and over again. I just know that they would be so pleased, that they were very proud of the beginnings, and like I said, I don't think that they would expect anything other than what's happened. The people that have been involved, that have helped this to grow and have all the fingers, the tentacles it does in the communities of Northern Chautauqua County. Something that's successful and to be proud of in the community has a very good chance of continuing on and having more generations come that will give and do the right thing.
I'm just so grateful that they're there, that they continue to provide help for services, for the youth, for the community, and I just can't thank them enough for what they do.
What you may or may not know is that philanthropy, the root of it is Latin, and it is love of mankind. And we need that. How can we have community without love of mankind?
You can step forward, you can go into the Community Foundation offices, ask if there's anything you can do to help. Even if you're not, don't have a foundation, don't have a fund, or even if you don't donate, you can donate your time. You know, there's so many things, and you will see how many service organizations there are in our area that really need our help. So that's what I would recommend.